Imagine you're in the middle of a high-stakes cybersecurity briefing with a dozen federal officials watching your screen, and just as you're unveiling the critical slide, boom, your screen freezes. The connection drops. Silence. At first, I thought it was a glitch, but when I looked out my window and saw Linda Marsh, the HOA president, casually sipping a green smoothie while standing next to a backhoe, and a guy literally rolling up my fiber optic line like it was a garden hose, I knew this wasn't some freak accident. "We don't allow unapproved utility connections," she said with a smug little smile, waving some HOA paperwork like a royal decree. Now here's the thing. That line was approved, fully permitted, installed by the city 6 feet underground. I'm not some guy pirating signal from the street lamp. I'm a certified telecom architect. I build communication systems for field hospitals, disaster zones, even military command centers. This wasn't just about internet. This was my livelihood, my contract, and Linda had just ripped it out from under me because aesthetics. No, it was deeper than that. See, Linda wasn't just any HOA president. She'd clawed her way into power a year ago, riding on promises of revitalizing the neighborhood's charm. But what she really wanted was control. And I wasn't the only one in her crosshairs. Solar panels, banned, unapproved, porch light color, fined, garden gnomes. God forbid. It was like living in a dictatorship with better landscaping. But cutting my line. That wasn't just petty. It was personal. So I didn't yell. I didn't go rant on the neighborhood Facebook group. I got to work. Using my backup satellite tether, I mapped the area's signal gaps. Then I called up a friend who owned a scrap of land just outside the HOA's jurisdiction, a wooded slope with a clear line of sight over the community. Within 24 hours, I'd leased the plot and started filing federal infrastructure paperwork under emergency communications protocols. Next thing Linda knew, a contractor was pouring the concrete base for a 35-foot signal tower right at the edge of the HOA's invisible wall. She showed up, of course, demanding permits, threatening citations. I handed her a binder thicker than her rulebook, FAA clearance, FCC compliance, RF safety reports. Oh, and a glowing letter from the county fire chief, thanking me for offering a backup communications node for emergency responders. Her face turned redder than the HOA-approved tulip beds. But I wasn't just building a tower. I built an entire mesh network, repeaters, directional antennas, smart filters. And guess what? I designed it so access could be controlled by address. Everyone in the surrounding neighborhoods got free, fast, rock-solid Wi-Fi. Except the HOA, every home in Linda's kingdom, blacklisted signal dead zone, and the name of the network, Liberty Link free for all, except Linda. Yeah, that happened. Word spread fast. Neighbors from outside the HOA started walking their dogs near the hill just to tap into the signal. Parents uploading work files in seconds. Kids streaming cartoons with no buffering. Even the local library and fire station started using it. Meanwhile, Linda lost her mind. First, she accused me of running an illegal business. Then she claimed the tower was giving her migraines, making her cat's fur fall out, and my favorite, turning her begonias brown. Someone in a board meeting whispered, Maybe her begonias are just tired of her crap. She tried everything. Sent 2 fake inspectors to poke around the tower. Posted flyers calling me a cyberbully. Even tried to frame me for radiation. Harassment. But every time I responded with receipts, permits, reports footage. And speaking of footage, one night, my security cams caught Linda herself, creeping around the tower with a wrench, trying to dismantle the repeater node. No mask, no shame, like she was immune to consequences. But tampering with a federally registered emergency node. That's not a fine. That's a felony. I filed charges, civil, criminal, public. And then the HOA turns out, folks had been fed up for a while, sick of the fines, the threats, the passive-aggressive power trips. So when the video of Linda's sabotage made it into the community group chat, it wasn't just shocking. It was liberating. Petitions started circulating. Flyers went up. Recall. Linda Marsh. T-shirts appeared. And when the recall vote was held, 78% of residents booted her and her 2 loyal lapdogs off the board. It wasn't even close. The new board, a retired teacher, a vet, and a software engineer, first order of business, lifting the digital blackout. I handed over access codes, and within seconds, Liberty Link lit up across the HOA like digital fireworks. Phones buzzed, kids cheered, one woman cried. But the most touching moment, a crayon-colored card left on my doorstep from a kid named Riley. Thank you for the Wi-Fi. My mum got a new job because of you. That hit harder than anything. Meanwhile, Linda disappeared for a while. Rumor was she was trying to sell her house. But the internet has a long memory, and the video of her wrench attack hit 1 million views. In 3 days, memes erupted. Buffering. Linda became an icon. She tried to sue me for emotional distress. I responded by uploading all the security footage, time-stamped and annotated, to a public Dropbox and shared it with the entire HOA mailing list under the subject line, "Truth always has full signal." The next morning, lawsuit withdrawn, and that should have been the end. But it wasn't. See, the real legacy wasn't just beating one overzealous HOA tyrant. It was what we built after Liberty Link expanded. We launched a neighborhood podcast, Signal Strength. Kids started tutoring seniors on tablets. Job boards, school portals, emergency alerts, all free, all online. A national tech magazine picked up the story, How One Engineer Brought Down a Dictatorship with Wi-Fi. And now, communities across the country are reaching out for help, replicating it. But I always remind them it wasn't just about the signal. It was about connection. That wooden sign at the base of the tower still stands today. It says, "Strong signal, stronger people." Someone added a little plaque under it, formerly known as Dead Zone. Perfect. So, have you ever dealt with an out-of-control HOA or someone who abused their little slice of power? What would you do if someone tried to cut off your access to the world? Drop your thoughts and stories in the comments. I read every single one. Let's talk about it. Because when people stand together, even if it's just to get a better Wi-Fi signal, No one can mute that kind of strength.